I was struggling. I was struggling.
I can see that. I can see that.
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good at yourself.
I am good. Glad that we have you here now, without
Me too.
without the technical difficulties.
I
How
had
have you
to.
been?
I've been good. I've been good. I had to like resend the new link to a couple of friends because the old line
Uh,
had ended.
oh no, no, no.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. But yes, I'm not sure. Instagram is one of those things where when it wants to work, it will work. When it doesn't,
Yeah,
it
exactly.
doesn't. But it's good to have you now.
Thank you.
Hopefully you can forward the link. Actually, it's in the corner of the screen. You can forward that to anybody who did have the link before.
I'm
Um,
actually sending it to a couple of people right now.
Perfect, perfect. And then we can kick off.
Yeah.
Cool.
It should be good.
Cool. Well, let's begin with maybe giving yourself an introduction to who you are, how long you've been doing music, and then we'll get into the latest release, Oceans, which is a banger, by the way.
Oh.
But yeah, I'll send it over to you now.
Okay, thank you. What's up, everybody? If you just meet me for the first time, I go by the name Veetchy, and I am an Afrobeats R&B singer-songwriter from Cameroon, currently living in Chino, California. And I've been
No.
doing music. I've been releasing music since December 2019,
Yes.
but
Yes,
I've been
you've been doing it longer than 2019
longer
though. Yes.
than not professionally though, but it's been, you know,
Yes. I know, I totally get that. Being an artist and actually recording and writing music is two different things. So,
yeah.
yeah, it's exciting to kind of learn and venture into your story a bit. One thing I noticed, and I think is a great place to start, is your first post on Instagram. I did a bit of stalking. I scrolled all the way back to the end. So you definitely had me stalking your profile for a bit. The first post is actually a great post to kind of emphasize what you've just said there, being an artist versus like the bits before, right? It was a voice note you did for Your Love.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool, to be honest, because it really showed like a really, even the voice note was great, but it
Yeah.
showed like an old point or a starting point for a song
Yes.
to the latest release. What
To
was
a
that
latest release.
experience like for you?
Your Love, basically, it was for those who have not listened to it, it's a song with my very good friend Shanae Moran, amazing singer. Um, she pretty much heard the beat on BeatStars. BeatStars.com is a beat where we go and then we get beats where
Mm,
producers sell the beats. And then she was just like, skimming through beats and then she sent me this beat. And that's not even the song we're supposed to work on. We're supposed to be
right.
working on another song. But I don't know, she's like, yo, Vici, check this out. And then she sent it to me and I was like, I was just like begging to it. I was like, you know what, let me just write something to it. And that's
Right.
that's how Your Love came about.
And how is that writing process for you? Is it something where you take a concept and you write based off the concept, or is it simply just like almost freestyling over a track and putting words to a melody?
Sometimes it's freestyling, sometimes it's conceptual. Every song approach, the way I approach songs are different. Specifically for Your Love, I heard the beat and then I started, I was thinking like, it gave me like a Timberland vibe, like a modern Timberland vibe. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I wanted to have like a kind of like rap singing, element to it, rap
Yeah, yeah,
singing
yeah.
approach to it. So that was already conceptual, and then on top of that, I started like freestyling out and then like writing out, like the words to the melodies into the freestyle.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. It's interesting you mentioned Timberland. He celebrated his, I don't know
His
what, how old
birthday.
he is. His birthday was
Yeah,
a
his
couple of
birthday.
days
Yeah,
ago.
we don't know how old he is. Just say
No.
birthday.
But Timberland to me is one of, I would say, I'm not a producer in any way, shape, or form, but as a vocalist and as a listener to music, I've like he's one of the dream collaborations for me as a producer. And growing up, a lot of his music, I think, influenced what I listened to. I think influenced a genre of music also. Who were your influences growing up? Were they key vocalists or producers that really inspired you to become an artist?
So you say influences, are you talking about like producers or artists?
Anyone. I for me, genuinely, both
Uh,
producers and artists kind of both influence me in like the sound and direction I go to. What would you? Okay, give us one producer and one vocalist that maybe inspires you.
I have a couple of artists, but producers,
Okay.
Timbaland is definitely up there. Timbaland is
Mm,
definitely up there. Dr. Dre, definitely up there. And there's many more. There's many more. But for artists, I have like a Mount Rushmore across all genres, not
mm,
just like R&B. And on my Mount Rushmore, I have like people like Toto Guillaume from Cameroon. He's a legendary Makossa artist from
hmm.
Cameroon, and Makossa is a genre of music specific to Cameroon. I have
Yes.
Fally Ipupa from Congo, Michael Jackson, Chris Brown, and Richard Bona. Richard Bona is another artist, Makossa artist from Cameroon, and they
Mm,
all have like different styles and different ways of singing and different like ways of phrasing their words that I just thought was just growing up. It was just so amazing, you know.
right. Right. So you've had a lot of influences also from your culture as well. I know you took some time, I think last year to kind of reconnect with family in Cameroon. Um, why did you think you needed to reconnect to your culture in that way, and what impact did it have on your life and your music?
Well, I came here in 2017, and uh, I had been here up to 2022. That's 5 years, and it's a really dope place. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you want to do music or what it is I want to do initially, which was software engineering, which is still my current job. But it's
Hmm.
like it can get really saturated, and there comes a time where you hit that point where you just got to go back to the source, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, and just have to like, reconnect and re-energize. And that was the reason of me going back. And also because I miss my family.
Of
But,
course.
that was the
Yeah.
whole point to just, calm down again and before,
Yeah.
soaking up all that energy before coming back.
Yeah. I mean, did you record some music out there? I know there was
I
some
did.
songs. Yes.
I did. I
That's
recorded
amazing.
Douala. I recorded Douala because I'm from Douala, and I recorded a
Mm,
song called Douala about my hometown.
amazing.
Uh,
How important was it for you to, record something that represents you, who you are, but also having other people maybe in your family listening to that and what it means to you? Was there any pressure of that, or like how was that experience for you?
Pressure, not really. But listening to it, yeah, they definitely loved it. There was really no pressure, but they definitely, loved it. It's like if you go back home and you make an R&B song, it's cool. But if you go back home and you make a song about the type of music people listen to back home, that's even, more amazing. And I felt
Right.
like it was necessary.
Right. And I know now, following sort of the releases that you have put out, a lot of your background and culture has come through, I guess, as you've progressed as an artist. How do you think maybe people in California, for example, receive music that is a blend of different genres or different cultures even?
Something that I learned coming here is that, people in America, they love like foreign like things, It's like they love the stuff like the California stuff, the hip hop, the
Hmm.
R&B, but like the Afro beats, for example, is the popular music right now.
Right,
Afro
right.
beats is taking over the world. And
Hmm.
if I give you an example, my song Dolam, I don't know if you listen to that one. It's a song,
Yes.
it's an Afrobeat song,
Yeah.
and the people from back home that listen to that song, they love it, and they understand what it is. But the people from here who had never heard that genre before, and that blend of English and French and Lingala and like Pidgin, and they're like, "This sounds good." Like I don't understand what you're saying, but it sounds good, and it just speaks to like if the music is good, they're always going to be receptive.
Yeah, I definitely would recommend anyone watching back to go check out your music because I was listening and saying the same thing. I was like, I do not understand a word, but this is a tune. So yeah, no, I really, really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
d Although I mean, it's great that music is universal. It's a universal language. Hopefully, that's something that can connect people from all across the world. I mean, it's connecting us today. So, do you sometimes get a little bit frustrated when things become a bit more of a trend? I mean, you mentioned Afrobeats. It's always been popping, but
Hmm.
it's now maybe some artists are now vulturing over that genre because it's trendy. Does that
Mm.
frustrate you as an artist who's always been in that space?
Not really,
Okay.
because, and I tell you this, and I mean this in the nicest way possible. It's like those who make off Afrobeats, those who grew up listening and
Mm,
making Afrobeats, they're always going to sort of stand out, because they know the genre and they've been doing it for so long. Burna Boy, Tiwa
mm,
Savage,
mm,
Fireboy, they've been doing it for so long. But those who were like jumping on the trend, some of them they have good songs, but it doesn't hit the same. You
that's
get what I'm
true.
saying? I can
Yeah.
understand why they would do that, but it doesn't hit the same. So you're doing it for why you're doing it. But those who have been doing it and are about the genre, they know exactly how to get to those audiences.
Right, right. No, what would your recommendation be then if somebody was new to the genre, alongside listening to your stuff, who would you recommend to listen to kind of get inspired by maybe Afrobeats or R&B, the things that have influenced you?
Definitely, well, right now he's like the African giant, Burna Boy.
Hmm.
Go to Burna Boy. You can listen to his latest project, it's cool, but go to like three projects back. Three,
Right.
bro, like the Rock Your Body when he really started popping to really
Mm,
understand why he is where he is today. Go to Tiwa Savage album Red. It's on YouTube. I don't think it's on streaming
hmm.
platforms. Go to Wizkid, Sounds from Africa. I know a lot of
Right,
people love this, the second to last Wizkid album, not what just came out.
right,
Go to Davido, go to P Square. Those are like OGs. Those are
right,
like the
right.
OGs. If you know P Square, like Nigerian group, they're like, And then from Cameroon, we don't really do well, we do Afro beats, but like the
Hmm.
popular Afro beats right now is mostly like Nigerians and Ghanaians. But if you were to want to be inspired from African sounds in general, from Cameroon, I would say people like Charlotte Dipanda, or if you want to be more popular, Loco. Loco
Hmm.
is doing some music that is closer to the popular Afrobeat genres, and then
Right.
there's other people like Mr. Leo, there's other people like Gomez Oba Stanley, shout out to them, and many more.
Hmm. Amazing. Definitely will check that out. With your own artistic journey, what's the kind of aim? What would you say is your purpose through your music?
My long-term goal is to be able to create impact. That's what I want to do, Obviously, I want to blow and, I want to make money, but that's not the long-term goal. That's just what I need to achieve my long-term goal. And I say this because all the people that I mentioned on my Mount Rushmore, they inspired me to make music. And I'm
Mm,
pretty sure they inspired other people who don't make music to be a better versions of themselves. And I feel like as an artist, being a vessel to the universe or used by the universe, once you're able to attain, once you're able to reach a certain level musically where you
hmm.
can impact or I would rather say once you reach a certain level to inspire somebody else to be a better version of themselves or to be great, that's impact. And that's
Mm,
what I want to do with my music. Because if you're just talented and you're singing nonsense, then it doesn't make any sense. You
exactly,
get what I'm saying? You
exactly.
have to be able to
Yeah.
use your music to do something that is more than just music. And I feel like, the level of impacting, or inspiring someone is what I seek to achieve with my music.
Yeah. No, I think that's a wonderful aim. I think music is something that, like we said before, is universal. It connects people. So if you are able to impact someone's life in a positive way, I think that. I mean, what else can you do in life but be positive and inspire people? So I think it's amazing. You've had like a couple of releases. I know obviously you've been doing music for a long time, but you kind of became an artist a little bit more recently. You had Cream and Sugar, you had In the Morning as well. As you've kind of gone through your releases, is there anything that you've learned that you kind of put into your music or that you would recommend to newer artists? Like, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do. Is there any feedback like that?
Mm, I think I would say from Your Love, because Your Love is kind of like
Hmm.
Love is a dance R&B dance record, and then Cream and Sugar is more like pop R&B. And
Mm,
then after those two records, I was like, I want to start putting out singles. Because Before Your Love, the only single I had was I think Dolam. Dolam was the
yeah.
only single I had, but I wanted to have more singles that spoke to the kind of music that I wanted to make, you know. And I do love R&B, but right now I am not so focused on that
Mm,
being the main thing. That's why I said I'm an Afrobeats R&B singer songwriter. You get what I'm
right.
saying? So if you listen to Lighted Sage is not R&B. It has that Afro reggae
Yes.
swag to it, but it's on a
Yeah.
pop instrumental. You get what I'm
Right.
saying? And then after that,
Yeah.
it's i.t.m, which is like a pop R&B genre, and then Ocean, which is like traditional R&B. So I want to
Yes.
let my listeners know, or those who are going to go and listen to my music, that it's going to change over time, but within that, R&B, island,
Mm.
Afrobeats, bracket.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think that's quite interesting because in terms of my own musical journey, I think there's synergy there. You start to learn what you want to do should be at the forefront of your music, and sometimes you venture into things even though you're proud of the material. You're like, it's great, but I'm not in that space anymore, or this is what I want to create, and this is where I'm at. So I think that's amazing, and each one of those songs I think showcases a different side of you, a different style of you, which is interesting. So you mentioned light sage, and you also have again when I stalked your Instagram, I saw a video of you in the studio, and you were lighting the sage. You were saying the lyrics of the song. Um, how I guess that's quite a spiritual kind of practice, saging and stuff like that. How much of that is in your life, and how much of that is in your music?
Um, Music is more of a meditation for me, but saging, I don't sage a lot. I know what it
Mm,
is. It's like a medicinal, thing to cleanse, the room. But,
hmm.
most of my cleansing is through music, when I'm by myself,
Nice.
typically, in the evening, I don't know, it's something about like recording or writing in the night, the downloads
It's
that you
different.
receive is just different. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's my form of cleansing, when I'm just isolated by myself with the melodies and then that's it, but definitely, you know, saging from time to time, not all the time,
Yeah.
not
No,
all the
that's fair
time.
enough. That's fair enough.
Hmm.
I think, yeah, there is definitely something about recording in the night. I don't know what it is. As I think also your voice is more rested in the
Exactly.
evening, so
Exactly.
I think it just works.
Yes.
Um, but let's move on to Oceans. Oceans is your latest release. It's
Yeah.
wonderful. Honestly, I'm a fan. Like, I'm
Thank
definitely a
you.
fan.
Thank you.
Talk to us about that. What's the release about?
Ocean is for those who have not listened or yet to listen, it's an R&B song, a traditional R&B song about warning somebody or being vulnerable, to someone emotionally. And it's that bedroom talk, as they would usually say. You know what I'm saying? And
It's classic R&B. It's
it
it
is.
has to be. It's in that space.
It's in that space. And I
Yeah.
was in that space when I heard the beat. On
Fair.
BeatStars, it says Cesar beat type. That's what it
Okay,
says.
okay.
And by the producer Cheap Limousine, shout out to him. And the track was engineered at Golden Impala Studios, which is the studio where I usually record all my
Mm,
songs, by engineer Darius Porter. Shout out to him as well. But my thought process when I heard the beat, especially that bass, when you hear it in the beginning, that bass, that I don't know if it's a bass or the 808 that just hits in the beginning. I was
hits.
like, oh, it's like your soul wants to come out. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I was like, I have to introduce the song in a proper manner. You get what I'm saying? So the first
Mm,
lyrics, it says, "Sinner, I'm guessing, yes, that's me." You get what I'm saying?
mm.
So I had to really, I had to do the beat justice.
For sure. And I like how your vocals also start with the track. It's not like a lot of the times, and I'm guilty of this as well, it's like you love an intro, right? You love to kind of feel into the track, but like you said, that it just hits from the start, which I think is wonderful. Are you kind of working on any visuals around that? I've said this kind of with other artists as well. Unfortunately, as expensive as being an artist is, people listen to music with their eyes, right? They kind of want to see some visuals alongside the material. So is this something you're working on, or are we waiting for the next release to kind of get some videos done?
I'm still promoting Ocean, so as a part of the promotion, I'm definitely going
Yes.
to drop a visual sometime next month.
Amazing, amazing.
Yes.
Have you filmed and done it yet, or are you in the
Not yet.
process?
I'm
Okay,
in the
okay,
process of doing that. Not yet.
okay. Any storyboard ideas that you can share?
I don't want to give it away.
Okay, okay, okay. Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. So Oceans, it's out again. Please, if anyone is watching back, do go check it out. It's an absolute tune. If you love R&B, if you love traditional R&B like myself, you'll love this. And I'll put all the links in the description.
Thank you.
Talk to me about maybe what you're expecting post this release. Is there things that we can expect? More singles, maybe an album, EP?
Absolutely. Throughout the year 2023, which is this year, I'm going to be dropping a couple of singles. I'm anticipating at least
Hmm.
five throughout the year to stretch it. And the reason I don't want to do an EP right now is because having a body of work, is not cheap, and you got to do it the
No.
right way. It's not
Hmm.
something that you just put out. You need
Exactly.
to put it out with a plan, with a team. And right now, I don't really have a team, and I don't really have
Mm,
that kind of budget, And I see a lot of artists, they put out projects that are amazing, but it's not really doing anything, which is, I wouldn't advise that to anyone. And I
right.
feel like the best way to go about it is just to break it down in singles by singles, which you could tour with them, you can
Mm,
perform with them, and by performing, you grow an authentic and organic fan base. And I feel like once
mm,
I reach a certain level, once I have enough super fans that are ready for consumption of a body of work, then I can think about having,
yeah.
an album or an EP.
Yeah. No, I think that's definitely important. Again, I will say this, like independent artists work so hard to put music out. It's more than just, recording a track in a studio and walking away. There's marketing,
Yeah.
there's promoting, there's interviews like this, there's spending time emailing radio stations, especially when you're independent. So again, if you're watching live, you can follow Veetchy from the top. You just click the top and you can follow him, but also all the links will be in the description. I do want to also just mention, because you mentioned it briefly, was performing. And I saw again through the stalking, this is becoming a bit of a trend. I'm sorry.
No, it's
You do a lot of performing. How is that experience with you? Because I know
um
it's for a lot, it's like connecting with people in person, but also can be nerve-wracking. So how is performing for you?
performing is amazing for me. My very first performance, like the very, very, I think it was in 2020. It was a little nerve-wracking, like in the
Hmm.
beginning, but the reception I got from the crowd was just like crazy. People that I had never met before. They walked up to me and was like, "Yo, like, how long have you been doing this?" I was like, "No, this is my first time." You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
So, but like, I usually like performing. There's always that little rush, that little nerve as you're about to get on stage. But I feel like once you start
yes.
singing, it goes away quickly.
Yes. Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
me, it just, it's just like that.
Amazing. And do you have any upcoming performances that we should be excited about?
As of right now, no, but
Okay.
I'm trying to record the songs that I plan to drop this year so that I can have content,
Right.
before hopping on the road again.
Amazing. Well, hopefully you can come to the UK too. There's a big market for R&B music, so
Dude, I love UK music. I
uh,
love Jack James.
are you
Oh
kidding
my
me?
God.
Like
Jack James, bro. He is
he's so
ridiculous.
slick. He is
Oh
so
my
slick.
goodness.
Like this
Nah, you
might turn
guys.
into a Jack James like fanning out because
Listen,
he is
you
the
guys are definitely you guys' R&B is going to in the next 10 years, I kid you not, is going to be out of here.
yes,
Out of here.
yes.
People need to start respecting UK R&B.
I mean, say it louder, say it
Listen,
louder.
because I grew up on Craig David. You
Oh
get what
my
I'm
God.
saying? I
He
grew
is,
up on that seven
yeah.
days. Listen. And
He is
Craig
good.
David was
Like,
like he was one of the only ones, you know what I'm saying? But right
right.
now it's just a lot.
Yeah.
And we love it.
I'm glad that you said that because Craig David, firstly, is a huge inspiration. I'm actually doing a show next month, and I'm performing one of his songs, and he as a vocalist, even at his age, he crisp. This is like from an R&B veteran in the UK, he's just consistently powerful and strong with his vocals and his music. I think it's got a
Yeah.
little bit more commercial now for Craig David, but in the UK, there's this R&B surgence right now. So we have a comment in the comment in the chat saying we want you here in Spain too from Jay Clare
Listen,
as well.
I'll try. I'll make it happen.
You need to make it happen. You need to make
I
it
need to
happen.
make it happen. What's up, Jay
Yes.
Claire? That's my sis.
Well, it's honestly wonderful to connect with you. I've thoroughly enjoyed listening to your music. I have to say, like your music is kind of what I would be a fan of anyway. Like it's not just you're a great artist; it's a different genre. It's like to a T what I enjoy. So,
Thank you.
um, congrats on the release of Oceans. I hope it does super well. I'm excited to see the visuals also.
Thank you.
Any final messages to anyone watching back?
If you're watching and you haven't listened to any of my songs or you're not familiar with me, listen. I would love for you to go take a listen. Veetchy, Veetchy, Apple Music, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, Pandora title. We're everywhere.
All of
Check
them.
it out. You get what I'm saying? I appreciate the feedback or the follow as well. I'm trying to grow my audience, and it's going to
Amazing.
be an amazing year.
Amazing. I'm sure it will be, man. Thank you so much, and
Thank
let's
you.
stay connected. We hopefully see you soon.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
very
much.
much.
Take care.
Uh, You too. Bye
Bye.
bye.